Hi everyone, happy Monday. I wanted to come to my mat and sort of tune into the energy of today. It is a full moon. I woke up feeling a little tight and sore. I've been doing a lot of computer work and I'm really feeling it mixed with carrying my daughter around. She's 20 months old, but she is a giant Viking baby and she's heavy. And I just feel it in my body today. And I also had a long weekend of lectures and stuff. So I'm just starting out slow today. I wanted to just gather us on the mat and gather our intentions, just tuning into ourselves, to this full moon, into this week. I'm going to do some gentle movements. I would like to incorporate my sound bowl at the end. It's not going to be like a strenuous flow or anything today. It's just going to be really calm and grounding. If you like, you can grab a pillow, a blanket. You can gather your crystals if you've created moon water, or I guess you would do your moon water tonight. But any rituals you would have for a full moon, if you have full moon rituals in your practice, go ahead and bring that with you on the mat. I have my vision board, which this is the first time I've made it into a book. So I have these sheet covers with my vision board pages in here, and I'm just going to have that next to me as a tool to tune into my desires and what I want to manifest, not only in this full moon, but just all around. So just really solidifying myself in my energies. And then I have the Work Your Light Oracle card deck, which I was going to draw a card from that to get us started. So if you're here with me, go ahead and find a comfortable position. You can be on your seat, like at a sit bone, sit a seat. Sorry, I can't talk right now. What am I trying to say? So seated upright, or you can lie down comfortably as I draw a card and read from that before we get into any sort of movement for today. So if you close your eyes, tune into your breath, find awareness of your body and your being. Let your mind drift where it wants, and think of any intention that you would have on this full moon. Think of any guidance or question that you might have. The card I've drawn is the Ever Unfolding Rose. Cracked open, it is happening for you, not to you. And I'll just come closer. Hi, Michelle. Here is the card. Beautiful pink rose. It's funny because I got pink roses for my anniversary last week and they're just about ready to be thrown out, but I saved one pink rose that was still in nice condition and I put it on my altar to dry. So, all right, let's see. I will read the meaning for us. So I think that is... I'm getting familiar with using these cards. I've had them forever, but affirmation or confirmation card. So here we go. The challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it, to let life crack you open, to open through hurt and loss, to allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of losses and tragedies. as much as triumphs and adventures. Wherever you find yourself at the moment, life is coaxing you to keep your heart open, no matter how much it hurts, to continually unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps as hard as it may be, life is happening for you and not to you. And one day, in the not too distant future, you may just bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently, to treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby, to wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has cradled you in her arms. The seas may not all be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held. One day, not too far from today, you will look back at the transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything is going to be okay. So that's beautiful, and why I was smiling while I was reading it, because my song bowl is to the note of F, which is for the heart chakra. And so I want to play a little bit of that at the end of our movement to help crack open and remove blockages from our heart. So that is the beauty of a song bowl. So if we want to get a little bit of movement, I'm going to keep this probably a little bit short today. This is more on my intentions and the sound bowl and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm feeling really tight. So I'm going to start in a tabletop position. My shoulders are stacked over my wrists. My hips are stacked over my knees. From here, I'm just going to find some organic movement. So do whatever feels good in your body. I'm going to roll up my hips, starting in in clockwise direction. Imagining if my pelvis was hitting all the times on a clock, depending on what kind of clock you're looking at. Allowing your body to open. Noticing if you're feeling any sort of blockages, cracking or crunching. Finding fluidity in your motions. And if you were circling like me, go ahead and reverse the direction. Noticing if you have any differences on this side. And then coming back to a center position, we're going to work through some cat-cows. So on an inhale, we're going to drop our belly, raise our crown to the sky. And on our exhale, we're going to tuck our pelvis forward, extending through the back, or rounding through the back, dropping our head. Inhale, drop that belly, thread your heart through the windows of your arms, and exhale, bring your pelvis forward. Go ahead, work on your own breath, everyone. When you're exhaling, really pushing up through those hands, giving you more arch to the upper back. And coming back to our center, resetting our hands and our knees if we like. And also I want to add, if your knees are uncomfortable in this position, to go ahead and put a folded blanket under your knees for a little bit more support. From here, we're going to bring our right knee towards our left elbow. inhale. And on our exhale, send that right leg back. Right knee behind right elbow. Send that right leg back on an exhale. Inhale, left elbow. Crossing over center line. Exhale, extending the right leg. Inhale, right elbow. Exhale, extend that right leg. Go ahead and hold it here. Press up through your hands. Find length in your spine, your neck. Tuck your chin gently. And lower that right knee to the ground. Find a reset. Inhale, left knee, right elbow. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, left knee, left elbow. Exhale, set it back. Inhale, crossing body. Exhale, set it back. Inhale, left to left. Exhale, set it back. Go ahead and hold it here. Press up through those four corners of your hands, finding your Hasabandha. Allow your shoulders to roll down and away from your ears. And lower those knees. Walk your knees far out to the edges of the mat. Tuck your toes together and walk your hands forward. Bring your third eye to the mat. Go ahead and rest here. Allow your hips to sink back. Breathing into the pose. Allowing your chest to come to the floor. Allowing your third eye to rest on the mat. Coming back to that card. Imagining a rose on the center of your chest, over your heart chakra, and visualizing that rose opening up. Keeping our arms where they are, we're going to walk up into our knees and then slide the arms towards the top of the mat a good amount and bring your chest to the earth into a puppy pose. Allow your shoulders to open. And if this is uncomfortable too, you can come up onto your forearms and hold it here. Really presenting that heart, finding an opening in that chest. Gaze is on the front of the mat between the hands. Navel pulls to spine. One more breath here. And walking yourself back up to tabletop. We're going to inhale our right arm to the sky. Gaze follows the fingers towards the ceiling, and as we exhale, thread it through underneath that left arm, resting on the head and the shoulder. Breathing here, allowing for opening in that right shoulder, across the back body, Energetically draw that right hip forward and send that left hip back. One more breath. And then the next inhale, pressing yourself up, coming back to a tabletop. Inhaling left arm to the sky. And on your exhale, thread it through to the left side. Allowing that left ear to come to the mat, to the top of the left head. Imagining a neutral pelvis, so it's energetically bringing the right hip forward and sending that left hip back. And then your next inhale, pressing up through that right arm, coming back to a tabletop. Tuck your toes and lift your knees for a high plank position. You can always stay on your knees if you need a modified version of this. But we're going to lower our left knee down, swing that left foot behind us, and come to a modified plank. If you wanted the full variation of the plank, go ahead and bring that left leg underneath that right, or stack that right foot on top of the left. If that's what you need in your practice, energetically drawing that left hip to the ceiling, fingertips reach, hugging in that left side body, pulling it up with you. And go ahead and release back into that plank. From here, lowering that right knee for a modified variation, or coming right into your chosen plank. If you want a little bit more today, gaze can follow the fingers towards the ceiling, navel to spine, really lifting. Don't allow yourself to hang. Micro bend in that right elbow if you hyperextend. One more breath here. On your next exhale, release. Bring your knees together and come back into a child's pose. This time, bring your third eye to the mat and your arms rest by your side. You can nestle your torso right onto the top of your thighs. And go ahead and breathe here. Allowing for that opening. becoming active, let's walk ourselves back into that tabletop position. Pressing through that Hasabandha, the four corners of the hand as we tuck our toes and lift our hips to the sky. Reaching our heels towards the back of the room for downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and walk our dog by bending our knees, alternating reaching one heel to the mat if possible with a generous bend in the opposite knee. So the weight is in the hands, the four corners of the hands, and the shoulders roll away from the ears. And coming back into the center, let's reach that right leg to the sky, and then we're going to step it through on the outside of that right hand, coming into a lizard pose. Going to kind of walk our left foot, reach it towards the back of the room, and lower that left knee to the ground. If you have blocks and this is a little too much, you can put your hands on block to give you some more length here, some more support. If you're okay here, use the outside of your right elbow and arm to sort of open up that right hip. You can roll on the edge of that right foot if you like. Allow those shoulders to open and that heart to press through. Gaze is a few inches above your mat, navel to spine. Energetically bring that left hip slightly forward as you allow opening of that right. This is a good place to have a blanket under that left knee. And if your knee was rolled out, let's bring it back to neutral. Tuck that left toe and lift that left knee. And let's bring that left foot to meet that right. You can sink it down for a squat. And if this is not your practice, you can go ahead and go back to down dog or go to a child's pose, or find some other movement in which you feel inspired to do. Sinking it low here. Allowing for opening. Using your elbows to press your knees gently open. And then planting our hands to the earth. We're going to find ourselves in a wide-legged forward fold and heel toe our feet together. Sitting here in forward fold, pressing through the hands, stepping back, finding downward facing dog. Go ahead and bend your knees a good amount and bring your belly just to rest right on those thighs. Send your hips to the sky and try straightening out your knees as much as you can, but also honoring the bend if that's where you're at. Breathe here. Lift that left leg to the sky and step it outside of that left hand. And bringing our right knee to the mat. Allowing the top of the right foot to come there. Grabbing your blocks if it's in your practice. You can also use this variation with the blocks in your downward facing dog. If you have any pressure on your wrist, this really helps with the wrist and the hands. And if you want a little bit more opening of that left hip, you can roll onto the left outer edge of that foot. Allow your shoulders, your arms to roll open, pressing through the four corners of the hands, opening through the heart as much as possible. Energetically bringing that right hip forward, left hip back. Tuck the chin just slightly and gaze is a few inches in front of your mat. One more breath here, everyone. We're doing great. And then rolling that left foot flat, tucking the right toes. And if it's in your practice, you can either step back into a high plank and find down dog or a child's pose, or step it forward for a squat. Using your elbows if you're in the squat to press the knees open, widening through the back body, opening our chest, unfolding that rose if we can here. And then pressing our hands to the mat, coming up for forward fold, heel toe those feet together, planting the hands and stepping it back. Let's go ahead and bend our elbows, slowly lower to the ground. Releasing the top of the feet. You can lift your knees off the mat by pressing the tops of your feet, using your hands. And lift your chest slightly, looking towards the front of the room. Gaze is off the tip of the nose. And pressing through your hands, tucking your toes, sending it back to downward facing dog. Great job, everyone. Let's bring our knees to the mat and come into a seated position. Coming into a staff pose. Removing the meat away from your sits bones. Move that up to the side so you can see me. So we're going to find a bend in our right knee and walk that right foot to the inside of the right leg. If that's right above the knee, that's okay. If it's closer to that pelvis or the groin, that's great too. If you're having trouble getting your knee to the ground, let's grab a pillow or a block, whatever you need for extra support. Rolling our shoulders down and away, reaching that crown towards the ceiling. Inhale our arms up. Find a slight twist in the left side body. We're just going to be looking over that pinky toe, but straight ahead. We're going to reach tall here and hinge forward as we reach to grab that foot. And it's okay if we don't get to that foot. Try to grab anything. You can grab your shin, your ankle. But if we're able to grab that foot, flexing through that arch of that foot, rolling shoulders down and away, neck is long. Take a look at your knee. Reaching that right knee towards the earth. You can also have a bend in the knee if that's what you need as well. Energetically engaging the quads by drawing that knee towards your hip, the left one. Using your exhales to bring your chest closer to that thigh. Inhales for expansion, exhale inhale. Reach your arms to the sky. Bring our alignment back to center and release our hands. Go ahead and switch feet. Adjusting how we need and bringing that heel towards our groin as much as possible. Setting up with that left knee to the mat. Grabbing that prop that you need under that left knee. Inhaling, arms up. Twist towards that right foot. Find a flex in the foot. Reach your fingers high and then hinge at your hip as you reach towards. Grabbing that foot. A bend in the right knee is great too. Activating the quad by drawing that knee towards the right hip. Two more breaths here. Using your exhale to bring the chest lower to the thigh. Inhale to make more room. Exhale deeper. Inhale. Coming to center. And exhale. Reach both legs out. Walk them towards one another. Bring our feet to the earth. Rocking back onto our tailbone and our sits bones. Finding like the tripod effect, right, with our lower body here. Reach our arms away. Swoop your pinkies towards one another when you reach your arms out, allowing that chest to open, giving space for that rose, if you can visualize the rose from my card. We can bring one foot off the mat, we can bring both, making sure we're staying open in the chest. You can also keep both feet on the ground. When we're here, tap one toe down, inhale, finding your breath, and alternate tapping navel to spine. Keep those arms lifting. I lost my coordination for a second. And then bringing both feet to the earth, can reset our sits bones here, reaching up through that heart and slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Keeping your chin tucked and releasing the back of your neck, your shoulders, your hands, and your body to the mat. Let's go ahead and bring a bend in that left knee. Grab behind that left thigh. Well, actually, let's lift that right leg too, and let's grab a figure four. So we're going to grab behind the right thigh. Sorry for that. So right leg is lifted. Grab behind that right hamstring. And allow that left ankle to rest on top of that right thigh. And just use your hands to draw that right leg closer. Feeling opening, maybe of the left hip, the left glute. Allow those shoulders to open up in the back of the body. One more breath here. And go ahead and unravel and switch to right ankle on top of the right thigh. Clasping your hands behind that left hamstring, allowing that right knee to open, and draw that left knee towards your chest, broadening through the back body onto the mat. You can flex your left foot if you want. So as we're pulling that left knee towards our chest, energetically driving that right knee away from us, allowing for opening in that right hip. Two more breaths here. Beautiful. Go ahead and hug both knees to the chest. Rolling out to that lower back body. Just noticing if there's anything we didn't get in the class, if you feel any sensations, just kind of rolling through it, opening, releasing. I'm assessing my body. I know how I started out, what I needed. I still feel some areas, but overall I feel pretty good. And when you're ready, releasing your body towards the mat, we're going to go ahead into our final resting pose for Shavasana. Go ahead and walk the shoulder blades underneath the back body, allowing openness of the chest. Reach your arms away. Allow the palms to open up. Release your feet. Allow the knees to naturally open to the sides of the room. Surrendering to everything. Closing off your eyes if you wish. You can keep them gently open if you like to have your gaze off the tip of your nose. But releasing here. Finding awareness of your breath, feeling your chest rise and fall, noticing any sensations. Bringing awareness to the space between your eyebrows, releasing the muscles of your eyebrows. Maybe energetically draw your ears away from each other, feeling that release across the front side of your face. Bring awareness to your nose and to your mouth, to your chin, down the front of your throat, down the right side of the body, the arms, right arm, right hand, right fingers, right hip, right thigh, right knee, right ankle, right foot and toes, left foot, left ankle, left knee, left hip, going up to the left arm, left elbow, left wrist, left fingers and hand, left shoulder. Paying attention to the back of the body, releasing the back of the head, the back of the neck, the whole spine, the back of the pelvis, the back of the legs, the heel of the foot, going back to the front of the feet, the front of the legs, the front of the body, the belly, the torso, the chest, and releasing it all, surrendering. Bringing awareness back into your body. Maybe start by taking a swallow. Finding slight movement in your fingertips and your toes. Maybe circling your wrists or your ankles. When you're ready, hugging your knees into your chest and rocking it onto one side, finding fetal position. And taking the time that you need to bring yourself up into a seated position, joining me with hands in heart center. And keep your eyes softly closed, or you can have a light gaze off the tip of your nose here. Bring your thumbs to rest right over your heart. And carrying through the theme of today's class of opening your heart and that pink rose. If you care to share that visualization, bring your hands over your heart and just start tapping like a heartbeat with your thumb, both your thumbs over your chest. Just imagining the rhythm of your own heart being expressed on the outside of your body. Feeling gratitude for this heart, both physically in the mechanics and emotionally, energetically, for all that it is in your being, your body. After all, it's here to keep you alive and keep you protected. And bring your hands back to center, just softly resting neutrally on your chest. Closing out today's class. The Light in Me honors to lighten you. Thank you so much for showing up today for yourself and joining me in this practice. Namaste. I'm sorry that that video cut my first live cut right in the middle of Shavasana, so this was like a pickup of that Shavasana. I hope that you're able to get back into it. If you want to replay, I will combine this and put it on YouTube, and then we can replay it, and you'll be able to do it. I hope the song bowl sounded nice on the phone. I don't know exactly how that'll sound. But I really hope this helps ground you into today and prepare you for the energy of today's full moon and for the upcoming week and just your overall well-being. So thank you, everybody.